Hey everyone, I just quickly want to tell you about the excitement I have for illustration, right? So for my job, I am currently creating a few characters, those ABC characters, um, where the letter like forms an illustration. Um, and I first went to my sketchbook. I don't think I can show because it's work. Um, but it's just so lovely to work on paper, and my eraser is MIA. I don't know where any erasers are in this house, so that actually forces me to not erase anything that I draw. So I draw with this, and my sharpener is also MIA. And it's so lovely, firstly, to see your illustrations to scale, meaning, let me grab a blank page, meaning what you see is to scale on this page. And usually what happens when you only draw digital, you lose scale. So for me, I can draw a circle and I can add, like, these are just hearts, nice detail. But my brain, because I see it to scale, automatically says, oh, hearts like this is too small, are too small, if it's not just the texture, But digitally, I always zoom in, and then I get lost in these little details, and when I zoom out, it's a bit small, but when I print it, it's almost, you can't almost see the details. So this is so nice, and I actually get work done if I draw here and not on my iPad, because on my iPad I refine my lines too much, so I get nowhere. So I don't make bulk work, and I don't just sketch and let it go, especially here with no eraser and a very nice, this is 4B, okay? A 4B pencil. I've had this one since high school, I think. I have a few sets of pencils, so I recognize this gray one. So my brain says, because I'm seeing things to scale, I work quicker because I don't get bogged down on the very fine details, and because I don't have an eraser, I can't erase, and when I made a mark, it's there, and so it takes up space. So I have to work on new spaces, and if I want, the circle, and if I want to, draw something bigger, I turn the page. So it tells my brain I'm progressing in my sketch phase, and it's so nice. I'm fangirling. The feel of this, how many grams is this? I have no idea how thick this is, but it's very nice and thick. And so the other thing, right, apart from just sketching on paper, it's been so long since I just drew something, for my work, for the monthly newsletter, I draw editorial illustrations, but because I'm still like not a recovering alcoholic, but a recovering artist from burnout and fear of drawing, I get bogged down, and I've just been using my iPad, because I think in my brain it's quicker, it's what I'm used to. I'm not used to drawing too much on paper anymore. So now when I just drew some of those ABC characters, I quickly drew some of those characters, my screen always goes off. I have to amp up the time count. Where was I? Because it's been so long since I just drew something for the funsies, you know, my brain automatically, well, starts to incorporate my illustration knowledge. And I've been sketching now. I think I can show you this. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. So I've been drawing this, right? And I looked up a few examples of ABC illustrations, right? So I've been doing this, and I know it doesn't look like much to you, but there were a few sketches. Let me show you. This is not. No, I can't. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about how my illustration brain, even though I've been fearing drawing, and even though I explained like I felt like my illustration garden in my heart is dead, and like there's nothing there, I do realize there is so much there. Actually, it's just under the ground. So while I was sketching this, I immediately started thinking about this angle, and what about this thing, and what about this texture, and I haven't felt this excitement in months. I'm always excited when I finish an illustration, even though it's editorial illustrations, but the process is very it gives me a lot of anxiety. So yeah, I think to say this video is just to create a journal for myself to go back on, and to build up my excitement again. So yeah, I have a lot of ideas that I want to sketch out, and types of illustrations and subject matters, and this mark making that looked cool that I actually want to try out. So I just need to do it. Yo guys, I thought of another thing. Authenticity and aura. So I can't remember the theorists who talk about aura. I know about them. So every artist has an aura, right? So this circle right here has an aura. This just means, in layman's terms, this is an absolute original. There's no circle like this in the world. And you know, when you start getting into mass production, which isn't a bad thing, in various contexts, you know, if you make a children's book, you print it for children to read, it's a very time-saving and an excellent resource for yourself as artist to get your work out there and to impact children a lot. Otherwise, if you had to make an original for every child, hectic. So I feel like working on paper versus working on the iPad or any digital medium, you can argue that this sketch right here is an original, and it is. But there's just something so extremely precious about traditional mediums. You know, this, what do you call it? The lead. I've used up the lead, and there are residue lead here so that you can see the image that you formed with your own hand. So cool. This whole video is just a rant about how cool pen and paper and ink is and the benefits of it. And you know, it's kind of, it's very funny, because as a child I started on paper, and in high school I had art subject, so I also painted on canvases and used charcoal and almost every medium you can think of, you know, clay, models. But when I hit art school, the second I got my iPad, traditional unfortunately went out the door. And traditional, well, digital gives you so much opportunity. Like, it is absolutely fascinating how people can make amazing pieces digitally that they weren't able to do traditionally. So everything digital in illustration is super cool. I love it, but you have to have balance. And I didn't have balance at all. Like I said, traditional was out of the door, and I basically just used traditional rough drafts for scale, but not always. Actually, only in honors they wanted me to work more traditionally, and I knew what they were on about, but my brain couldn't cope. So yeah, what else? So yeah, guys, this whole rant about how cool traditional mediums are and how cool illustration is, and my love for illustration and my excitement for it. All this to say my garden isn't dead. Anya, my garden isn't dead. And there is so much in my heart and in my skill and my mind that I can give towards illustration. So yeah, that is very exciting. Another thing, before I forget, and I want to voice this concept. Instead of my brain being against me, with this sketching session, it was for me. Instead of my brain telling me, your concept is wrong, this composition in relation to this one makes it not work, your sketching itself, the skill, is subpar, and this won't work out. Instead of that, my brain has now just told me, remember about that mark making technique. Remember about this anatomy thing, concept, structure. Oh, you know, maybe try this. It's more a softer whisper of the heart and the brain, the mind, aiding me in my illustration than the absolute dictator that I felt in honors. So I really, really wish for all illustrators to feel this soft, encouraging voice that allows you to utilize all your skill, all your techniques, all your designs, instead of the harsh one. Yeah, so I have to switch off the video. I'm gonna rant forever. But yeah, that voice is what we strive for. So yeah.